Dear friends, close your eyes and journey with me, 40,000 years back from our present day. When you open them, there will be no glimmer of our modern cities, no technological marvels, not even the simple assurance of a warm meal and a safe home. Instead, I invite you into a world governed by unprecedented beauty and relentless peril. We open our eyes in a world that is not our own, yet is the cradle from which we were born. The time is 40,000 years before our present day. The great clock of the cosmos has ticked into the epoch we call the Upper Pleistocene. This is an Earth of ice. A third of the planet's landmass is entombed beneath colossal glaciers, mountains of frozen water miles high, their immense weight pressing down upon the continents. The oceans have receded, revealing vast coastal plains and land bridges. A cold, arid wind scours the face of a continent-spanning biome that no longer exists, the Mammoth Steppe. It is a world of immense herds and the colossal predators that stalked them, a world of profound danger and stark, wild beauty. Into this world, a new force is making its presence felt. They are a people of long limbs and high foreheads, their minds a vibrant tapestry of abstract thought, symbolic language, and intricate social planning. They are Homo sapiens, the wise ones. Their ancestral journey out of Africa has been a trek of millennia, a slow, generational expansion across the face of the globe. Now, they have pushed deep into Ice Age Europe, a land that for over 200,000 years has been the undisputed dominion of their evolutionary cousins, the Neanderthals. These were a people of immense physical strength, masters of survival in the cold, yet a different kind of human, whose story was nearing its final, mysterious chapter. Our story focuses on one small band of these newcomers, a clan of perhaps 30 individuals who call themselves the Sunstone people, named for the strange amber-colored stones they find in a riverbed to the east. Their home, their sanctuary, is a grand limestone cave carved by primordial waters into the foothills of the Pyrenees. To them, it is known as the Cave of Whispering Shadows, a place where the wind moving through its passages seems to speak in the voices of their ancestors. This cave is more than a dwelling. It is their universe in miniature. The sunlit entrance, a wide, arching maw, serves as the clan's workshop and communal space. Here, the air is filled with the sharp, percussive crack of flint knapping and the murmur of daily life. Deeper inside, beyond the reach of the sun, is the hearth, the beating heart of the clan. Here, a fire is kept perpetually burning, a living entity passed down from generation to generation. It is the domain of sleep, of shared meals, and of community. And in the furthest, most inaccessible chambers, plunged in an absolute darkness and a silence so profound you can hear the blood pulsing in your own ears, lies the sacred realm. This is the womb of the earth, the gallery of spirits, where the clan's deepest beliefs are painted onto the stone. The leader of the Sunstone Clan is not one person, but a council of experience. There is Darren, the lead hunter, his body a roadmap of scars from past encounters with beast and terrain. His is the voice of pragmatism and courage. His mate, Lyra, is the clan's quiet anchor. A master of botany and resources, she holds in her mind a complete inventory of every edible root, medicinal herb, and source of fresh water within a 3-day walk. Her wisdom ensures the clan thrives, not just survives. Then there is Grom, the master craftsman, whose hands can read the soul of flint and bone, turning raw material into objects of lethal beauty. And finally, there is Zaya, the elder shaman, the keeper of the clan's memory. Her mind is a library of stories, genealogies, and rituals that give their lives meaning, connecting their fleeting existence to the great, eternal cycles of the cosmos. The season is turning. The vibrant, though brief, autumn of the steppe is fading into a stark palette of ochre and gray. The signs are troubling. The great flocks of migratory birds passed overhead weeks earlier than usual. The Arctic hares are already cloaked in their winter white. A palpable tension grips the clan. The coming winter, they all feel, will be long and brutal. Lyra's inspections of their stores confirm their fears. The smoked fish is plentiful, but the dried meat is low. The cache of rendered animal fat, essential for fuel and nutrition, is only half full. They need one more great hunt before the deep snows make tracking impossible. Darren and his team of 4 hunters return after a 5-day trek, their shoulders slumped, their leather packs nearly empty. They had been tracking a herd of steppe bison, but a sudden, unseasonable blizzard had swept down from the ice sheets to the north, obscuring the tracks and forcing them to retreat. The failure hangs heavy in the air. The clan gathers around the central fire that evening, the flickering light casting long, dancing shadows on their anxious faces. The spirits of the hunt are displeased, Zaya's voice rasps, thin and dry as a winter leaf. The great bison hid its face from you. A ritual is needed to open the way. Darren stirs the fire with a stick, his jaw tight. Rituals will not fill our bellies, old mother. The beasts have moved east, toward the frozen river. It's a longer journey and more dangerous. But we must go. We need better weapons. The bison are wary. His gaze falls upon Grom, who sits silently, turning a piece of mammoth ivory over and over in his calloused hands. Grom looks up, his eyes reflecting the flames. The old spears are not enough. They require us to get too close, to risk a goring. I have been thinking of a new device, something I saw in a dream, a thrower for the spear. It could give us the distance and power we need. Lyra speaks, her voice calm and steady, cutting through the tension. A great hunt will require strength. The hunters must be well fed, and their clothing must be perfect. The children and I will scour the lower valley for the last of the iron root and cloudberries. We will mend every stitch of your winter gear. But you must succeed. Our margin for error this season is gone. The council has spoken. A plan, forged from spirituality, technology, and practicality, has been set in motion. The fate of the Sunstone Clan will be decided in the coming days by the work of their hands and the strength of their shared will. The entrance to the cave transforms into a hive of determined activity. Every member of the clan has a role to play in the great preparation. While Darren and the other hunters rest and conserve their energy, sharpening their flint knives and restringing their bows, the true work of innovation begins. Grom's corner of the cave becomes a sacred space of creation. He has chosen a long, straight piece of seasoned reindeer antler for his new device. He explains the concept to his young apprentice, Kale, a boy of 14 winters whose eyes are wide with awe. The spear itself is weak, Grom says, his voice low. Your arm is strong, but its length is short. This device, he holds up the antler, will become an extension of your arm. It will act as a lever, Kale. It will multiply the power of your throw beyond what your muscles alone can achieve. This is the birth of the Atlatl, the spear thrower, a technological leap as significant as the control of fire. For days, Grom works with intense focus. He uses a sharp flint burin to carve a groove down the length of the antler and a hook at one end to cradle the spear. The work is slow and meticulous. Shavings of antler fall like snow around his feet. But Grom is not merely an engineer, he is an artist. He begins to carve the atlatl itself into the effigy of a leaping cave lion, its muscles taut, its form elegant and powerful. He believes that by carving the spirit of the predator into the weapon, he is imbuing it with the lion's own lethal grace. Kale watches, learning that a tool is never just a tool. It is a vessel for belief, a conduit for power. He is tasked with crafting the spears that will be used with the thrower, lighter, fletched with goose feathers for stability, their bases hollowed out to perfectly fit the atlatl's hook. Meanwhile, Zaya prepares for her own crucial work. She will journey into the deepest part of the cave to ask the spirits for their guidance. This is not a journey taken lightly. Accompanied by Alara, a young woman being trained in the old ways, Zaya carries a small, flickering stone lamp filled with bison fat. They move beyond the familiar living spaces, their small light pushing back an ocean of absolute black. They squeeze through tight passages, their shoulders brushing against the cold, damp limestone. The air grows still and heavy. The only sounds are their own breathing and the drip, drip, drip of water that has been seeping through the rock for millennia. They reach the chamber known as the Spirit Well. Here, Zaya dismisses Alara to stand guard at the entrance. Alone, she extinguishes her lamp, plunging herself into a darkness so complete it feels like a physical presence. She begins a low, rhythmic chant, the ancient words echoing strangely in the acoustically perfect chamber. She beats a slow, steady rhythm on a large, flat stone with the palm of her hand. For hours, she remains in the sensory deprivation, her mind detaching from her body, opening itself to the whispers of the other world. A vision begins to form in her mind's eye. Not a clear path, but a series of potent symbols. She sees a river of stars flowing on the ground, a herd of bison with coats the color of the winter moon, and a single great bull with a shattered horn. Most vividly, she sees a spear that seems to fly with the speed of a striking falcon. She does not know the precise meaning, but she knows these are the signs she must give to Darren. On the sunlit slopes below the cave, Lyra leads the gathering party. With Alara now returned from the cave, they move with an efficiency born of a lifetime of experience. Their knowledge is a living library. They dig for the tough, starchy iron roots, using sharpened sticks and the shoulder blades of deer as shovels. They find a sheltered thicket of cloudberries, their orange fruit a precious source of vitamins. Lyra also gathers specific mosses, known for their ability to staunch bleeding, and the bark of the willow tree, which she knows can ease pain and fever. They are not just gathering food, they are assembling a prehistoric pharmacy. Every item they place in their woven reed baskets is another small thread in the safety net they are weaving for the hunters, and for the clan's future. Their work is quiet, unglamorous, but utterly essential. Without it, the hunter's strength and Grom's technology would be meaningless. The morning of the hunt arrives, cold and clear. The air is so sharp it feels solid in the lungs. Grom presents the finished atlatl and the specialized spears to Darren. The hunter feels the weapon's unfamiliar balance, its potential power thrumming within the carved antler. Zaya recounts her vision to him in hushed tones. Follow the path that mirrors the stars on the ground until you find the moon-coated herd. Their leader is the one with the broken horn. Do not fear his strength. Your spear will fly like a falcon. The 5 hunters, led by Darren, depart. They are ghosts moving through a silent, gray landscape. There are no grand farewells, only a shared, knowing silence. The clan watches from the mouth of the cave until they are small specks swallowed by the vastness of the steppe. For 2 days they travel east, into the wind. Darren contemplates Zaya's vision. The path that mirrors the stars on the ground. He realizes she must mean the frozen river, its icy surface glittering under the pale sun like a galaxy of captured light. They follow its course, their fur-wrapped feet crunching on the snow-dusted banks. On the 3rd morning, they find the tracks. Bison, a large herd, and among them, the prints of a truly massive bull. They follow, their movements economical, their senses alive to every snap of a twig, every change in the wind. This is the great intellectual and physical chess match of the Pleistocene. They are not stronger than their prey, but they are smarter. They use the landscape as their chessboard, planning their attack several moves ahead. They finally spot the herd in a wide, shallow basin. And there, just as Zaya had foreseen, is the leader, a colossal steppe bison, its winter coat a pale, silvery gray, the color of the moon. One of its massive horns is splintered, a testament to past battles. The hunters conceal themselves downwind, their hearts beating a slow, steady drum against their ribs. A direct assault would be suicide. Darren motions to his team, outlining his plan with a series of silent, efficient hand gestures. They will use a narrow, rocky ravine at the edge of the basin to trap the great bull. The hunters split up. 2 move in a wide arc to spook the herd from the far side, their sudden appearance causing a wave of panic. The bison begin to move, a thundering tide of muscle and horn. Darren and the other 2 hunters wait at the mouth of the ravine. As the herd streams past, they focus all their attention on the great bull. They yell, they wave their spears, creating a wall of perceived threat that funnels the massive animal away from the herd and into the rocky trap. The bull is enraged, cornered. It paws the frozen ground, its hot breath pluming in the frigid air. It lowers its head to charge. This is the moment of truth. The hunters of old would have had to run in close, a dance with death. But Darren stands his ground. He fits one of Kael's light spears into the hook of the atlatl. In one fluid, explosive motion, he brings his arm forward. The atlatl acts as a powerful lever, whipping the spear forward with a velocity and force that is utterly new, utterly devastating. The spear flies not like a man's throw, but like a projectile from a weapon of war. It closes the distance in the blink of an eye, striking the bull high on the flank, punching deep through the thick hide and muscle. Zaya's vision was true. It flew like a falcon. The great beast stumbles, roars in pain and fury, but a second spear, launched by another hunter, finds its mark. The hunt is over. The silence that descends upon the ravine is broken only by the ragged breathing of the hunters and the whistling of the wind. They have done it. They have secured the future. The return journey is an arduous procession. The hunters carry as much of the precious meat as they can, bundled in the bison's own enormous hide. The rest has been cached, protected from scavengers by stone cairns, to be retrieved later. When they are finally spotted from the cave mouth, a joyous cry goes up. The arrival of the hunters is not the end of the work, but the beginning of a new phase. The entire clan, from the smallest child to the oldest elder, descends upon the bounty. A production line of survival swings into action. Lyra and the women, with their razor-sharp flint blades, expertly butcher the meat, their knowledge of anatomy precise. Strips of meat are hung on racks near the fire to be smoked and dried for the long winter months. Hides are scraped clean of flesh and fat, ready to be tanned into warm, durable leather. Bones are cracked open for their rich, nutritious marrow, and the larger bones are saved for Grom to turn into tools and ornaments. Sinew is carefully removed to be dried and processed into strong cordage and thread. Nothing is wasted. Every part of the great bison will give life to the clan. That night, there is a great feast. The cave is filled with the rich smell of roasting marrow and fat, a scent of prosperity and security. For the first time in weeks, the faces are not etched with anxiety, but are shining with relief and communal pride. Darren, the pragmatic hunter, becomes the bard. He stands before the fire and recounts the story of the hunt, his voice booming through the cavern. He tells of the long track, the freezing wind, and the terrifying power of the great bull. He reenacts his throw with the atlatl, his story weaving together Zaya's prophecy, Grom's ingenuity, and the hunter's courage into a single, epic narrative. The children listen, their eyes wide, committing the story to memory. This is how culture is forged. This is how a clan's identity is built. Every great story must be recorded, Zaya tells him, her voice a reverent whisper, so that those who come after us will know who we were and what we did. Our memory is not in our heads alone. It is on the rock. It is the rock. By the lamplight, Zaya begins to outline the form of a great bison on the limestone wall. She draws the powerful body, the shaggy mane, and the distinctive broken horn. Then she hands a reed brush to Kale. With a trembling hand, he dips it in the red ochre and paints in the spear, the falcon-fast spear that brought them life. He is no longer just an apprentice toolmaker. He is now a keeper of the story, an artist, a creator of meaning. He has added a new chapter to the great library of the Whispering Shadows. The fire burns brightly in the heart of the cave, a beacon of warmth and life against the immense, frozen darkness of the Ice Age world. The Sunstone Clan will survive this winter. They have faced the ultimate test and have triumphed, not through brute force, but through a uniquely human combination of technological innovation, spiritual belief, social cooperation, and the timeless courage to plan for a future they could not see. The echoes of their lives, in the tools they crafted, the food they shared, the dangers they faced, and the stories they told, are our own deep history. Their struggles and successes are the foundational epic of humanity. In their art, we see the dawn of the human soul. In their cooperation, we see the birth of society. The challenges have changed, but the fundamental equation of survival, innovation, and community remains the same. The whispering shadows of their cave reach across 40,000 years, reminding us that our story was not written in palaces or temples, but here, in the heart of the wild, by the flickering light of the very first fires.